fractions forever. They're not bad.
Sure about that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So you're lucky you slept extra. No, not necessarily.
Fractions forever. Say we could sing about that too, but
I'm not even gonna make a song.
no. Come on, we gotta find that energy somewhere. We gotta dig down deep today, cause yeah, long weekends are great, but long weekends are hard to come back from sometimes. Just like y'all just got back from what, Christmas break, and we kind of got back in the swing, and then we had a long weekend. So we're trying.
Somebody else is trying to
Okay.
make a song for a different thing because I done made one for sticky.
Okay, we need to practice that one later, not right now. All right. I have myself a note here, but that was for Friday. Okay.
Another sticky note.
So we are headed into lesson 11. I can explain fraction equivalence. Equal fractions, we've been doing that. Okay. Using a tape diagram, we've been doing that. And the, don't fall out from fear, but and the number line. Can I get you to stand up, please, beside your desk? Can I get you to say, yes, the number line?
No, the number line.
Okay, let's try that one more time. The words are, yes, the number line. Okay, the motion is, like I'm excited. Okay, let's try it one more time. Yes, the number line. It's not working for you. Okay, y'all sit down. Okay. And we're going to relate that to multiplication and division. Now, I will say about this lesson, we are going to, again, pull out parts of it. Some of this that we're not really going to do in our workbook, we're not really going to focus on. I do want to show you. It's kind of neat how the number line works. I don't think I would have thought on my own to do some of the things that our book does, but it's kind of neat to see, and some of you that have those math minds might really want to see it. But anyway, but we are going to do our problem set a little differently today, still one more day, okay? Let's get warmed up. We definitely need to. So let's, no, that's not where I'm headed, but I will show you the cat.
What does it say?
Review time. Nobody panic. Okay. I don't think that's the picture y'all need today. I think y'all need that other picture of that other cat.
What are we doing?
It's Tuesday. I gotta do school. I think that's what y'all need today, Okay. So on your whiteboard, I'm really gonna get you woken up here. All right. Let's do this right here. Okay.
This is my thing right here.
Well, good. This needs to be our thing that we get how to do. Let's turn it. I'll get out of the way for a minute. And if you get a chance, go ahead and try to check it with multiplication. I'm going to jump in here, and if you're still finishing up, go ahead and finish it up. How many 2's can we get out of 6? 3. 2 times 3 is 6. We bring down the next digit. How many 2's can you get out of 7? Same thing, 3. 2 times 3 is 6, and we subtract there and get 1 and bring down the next digit. How many 2's can we get out of 16? 2 times what? 16 is even, so I know 2 times something is 16. Yeah. 8. 2 times 8 is 16. I'm going to subtract and bring down the 5. I'm running out of space here. Okay. How many 2's can you get out of 5? I've got 5. How many times can I get a group of 2?
4.
2 times. Okay. 2 times 2 is 4. I'm going to subtract that and get 1. And then that would become our remainder. All right. 3,382 times 2. That's 4. And 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 1 more is 7. And 2 times 3 is 6. We have a remainder, so add that in. 6,000. Hard to see there, isn't it? 6,765, which is our dividend. Okay? Let's jump back to that cat picture. We're not doing all of those problems. Sometimes if you see me pull up a review slide or something like this, and it's saying review, and review usually means, hey, we've already done this, let's bring it back and practice it. But if you see stuff on there that we haven't done, it's because remember how we've jumped over a few modules, we've skipped them in the workbook, we're going to come back to them. That's what this stuff is. It has to do with measurement. We usually save measurement and angles and those kinds of things for closer to the end of the year. So let's grab one of these right here. Let's grab 72 times 32. That's why I came back here. Go ahead and write it on your board vertically like that. Need to circle these digits. Remember the dinosaur right there, that just helps us remember one of our steps. Okay. 2 times 2, everybody? 4. 2 times 7? 14. Okay, we're done with that 2. We put the dinosaur egg. 3 times 2, everybody? 6. 3 times 7?
21.
We're going to learn about that. It's fun. Can you hear me?
No.
Can you hear me? Probably not. This is what everybody looks like. Okay. All right. Let's wake up. Okay. Yes, you don't have a choice. Okay. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 7 is?
21.
That's better. Better. I'll take it. Add them together and not cross them out accidentally. 4, 10, 3, 2,304.
Oh, I got that wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
the answer.
I got that wrong.
Okay. You got it wrong. What?
I got 2,000.
That just means more work.
No,
Yay. Okay.
Look at my board.
All right. Go ahead and clear off your board. I'm trying to decide. We are going to, I am going to go here.
There's going to be
Because when we start getting into our lesson, which is what we're about to do, like one of our very first slides, okay, there is absolutely no room to write. It is just a bunch of instructions. So there's no need in you looking at all the instructions. Let's just hear about it. I'll put them here, but okay. I am going to give you the set of instructions. Step by step, we are going to draw something on our board, okay? Part of this, the first part, is going to be very familiar. We're used to the tape diagram. We're used to all that. But then we're going to add in a little something afterwards. So, have your marker ready. And we're going to start by drawing a tape diagram. Okay, I should have said this before, but we're not too far in that you could fix this. Your tape diagram, yeah, let's put it a little bit higher. Not all the way at the top, but a little bit higher so that we have room to put something underneath it in a little bit. Okay. All right. So we are going to partition. Do y'all know what that means? If I said, I'm going to take this classroom today and I'm going to partition it into thirds, what would I probably be doing? What do you think?
Put them into groups.
No. What do you think, Reagan?
Divide them.
Yeah, I would be kind of dividing the room up, sectioning it off. Maybe you've seen these things like screens that kind of stand up, and they kind of, like if I put one up here, I'd have like this part of the room, and that little, it's like a temporary wall, kind of. It might not go all the way to the ceiling, and then I'd have another space over here. Anyway, that's partition. We're just putting it into parts. The word partition starts with P-A-R-T, the word part. We're going to partition this into halves. So cut your tape diagram into halves. Okay. All right, so now we have halves, and we're going to shade one half. Okay. All right. Okay, we've done that. So we're just going down this list of directions, which is leading us somewhere. Now, decompose, we know that means to kind of pull apart, halves to make fourths. And how many halves will be, how many fourths are shaded? Now, when we've done that before, what have we done? When it has said decompose, what we start with, into something else, what have we done? Yeah? Okay. What we have done before is to draw that horizontal line and cut it. Now, we're going from two pieces, right, in the whole. And we cut it. How many pieces in the whole are there now?
4.
There are 4 total pieces now. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So how many fourths are shaded? 2 fourths are shaded. Okay. So what I want us to do, I'm going to try to do this over to the side. I don't know. This was hard to tell you all of this before you started. You are going to need, at the very end of this, we're going to need the space right under this. Okay? So right now we're fixing to write a multiplication sentence. I don't want you to put it right under your tape diagram if possible. If you have some space over to the side or maybe even up above, use that. Okay, so we're going to write a multiplication sentence to go with what we just did. What did we just do? 1/2 Okay, when you say times, what is that going to look like on this? Think about what we've done over the last week. Yeah. Now, what are we multiplying by? Not 1, but by 2. But Are we going to write this times 2 equals? No. What's it going to look like, I guess? How do I know? If you had to tell somebody how to draw that, how are we multiplying? What is it going to look like? Think about what we did last week. Yeah. Huh? No, we're multiplying. We're multiplying. So think. What is it going to look like?
Equal sign over just like 4 times 1/2.
Okay, so there is an equal sign.
Equal with fractions.
Okay. It is going to equal another fraction. Where's the multiplying part go? I guess that's what yeah.
You have to figure out a number to add or to.
Okay, we already know the number because this is showing us what it is. No, we're not multiplying by 4. We're multiplying by 2. And you know that because of how many rows it's been cut into. Not how many cuts were made, how many rows. Yeah.
Multiply the denominator and the numerator by 2.
Okay, that's what I was trying to pull that out. I wanted us to say that to make sure we understand. We're multiplying the numerator and the denominator. So we're not writing it like we normally do, like, this times 2 equals, we're not we're making sure that we show the numerator is multiplied by 2 and the denominator. So write that in. And maybe you already have. And what would that create for our equivalent fraction? Y'all already said, oh, now we've got 4 pieces. Total, almost said it backwards. And how many are shaded now? 2, okay? All right. So, what if we decided to decompose again? Okay. We're going to decompose our fourths now to eighths. Okay. What would we need to do? We're not going to erase anything. We're going to just keep going with this diagram. We're going to keep adding to it. If we're going to take fourths and make them into eighths, how can I show that up here? We had halves. We did this, and we got fourths. How can we take this now and make it into eighths? Mason, what? Cut it one more time. Which way? Horizontally. Okay. So how many pieces do we have total now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're headed in the right direction. But what else do we need to do? One more time. Okay. And sometimes, hey, I've done this longer than you have, and I still have to stop sometimes after I've created a horizontal line and stop and go, okay, how many pieces do I have now? So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We now have eighths. How many of the eighths are shaded, everybody? Count your pieces. Or count my pieces up here. How many are shaded? Kennedy, what do you think? How many are here? Four are shaded now. Yeah. Okay. So we've got 4 eighths shaded, right? All right. I promise we're headed somewhere. All right. Let's show another multiplication sentence that shows 2 fourths is equal to 4 eighths because we haven't shaded anything else. It's still equal to what we started with. So we started this time with 2 fourths. And we want to show it's equal to 4 eighths. How did we get there? And let's use multiplication. Because we're creating more pieces. We're creating more pieces. We went from 4 total pieces to 8. We're creating more. So we're going to be multiplying. What would we multiply by? Look at your problem. How did we get in multiplication? How did we get from 2 to 4? And how do we get from 4 to 8? Yeah. Times 2. Okay. None of this is, I'm not trying to trick y'all. This is really just stuff we've done last week. Okay, this is nothing really new right now. Okay. All right. So I think we can probably stop with the tape diagram right there. Now, if you would put your marker, well, no, that's not true. I do want you to keep using your marker. I need you to listen carefully right here because this is where I'm going to add some things that we haven't done. Okay? We are going to add a number line to this on our board. Okay? And the way that we're going to do it is we want it to match up with our tape diagram. Like, here's our tape diagram. I'm going to draw this line just a little bit longer. Just watch first and then you'll have a second to do this. And I'm going to have the first little line be right here at the end of the tape diagram. And the next, the end line right here. So that it's the same length between those little tick marks as the tape diagram. Okay? So go ahead and do that. We'll put 0 here. And we'll put 1 here. So go ahead and do that much. Get that lined up right underneath it. Pretty close to it, but we want to have room to write right here. Because you know how that you've got little lines and numbers on a number line. Alright, now we're going to cut this number line, or decompose this number line into halves. Now, let's put it at the same point where the half mark is. When we cut our tape diagram into halves, we cut it right here. So let's cut it right about the same spot right there. And we're going to label this 1/2. Okay. Now, there's nothing, absolutely nothing hard about that number line right now, is there? It's a 0, it's a 1, and it's a 1/2. But I'm going to tell you, coming up in the next few days this week, that 0, that 1/2, and that 1 are going to be very important numbers to us. They're going to be called benchmarks, and you'll see why in a few more days. So we are starting kind of simple with the number line with fractions right now. And it's not that it's going to get harder. It's just going to be, we're going to be adding a little more to it as we go. Okay? I'll be honest. The number line didn't used to be one of my favorite things. But once I started using it with fractions, I saw how helpful it could be. And really, I was like, this is an easy tool to use, really. Because not a lot of people like to use it. Okay. Now, what if we had our number line and we said, let's decompose the number line into something. What would we do on the number line to show that it's been cut into more pieces? We're going to start drawing some horizontal lines on that number line?
No.
We're not. What do you think we do? Yeah, we're going to cut it like a number line looks. Number line usually just has the horizontal or the vertical line. Okay. So if we had to take, it says decompose our line into fourths. Yeah, but it's halves. Okay, I want you to leave the 0, 1/2, and 1. I want you to leave that where it is. We're going to decompose to fourths. Let's do it across the top. Do you have room at the top of your number line? Most of you do, maybe a little bit. Okay, let's just try to squeeze that in. We're not putting a lot. Okay, so our 0 would stay the same. We can put it there though. We're going to cut from 0 to 1 into 4 pieces, 4 equal pieces. So it's already kind of cut in half. We'll leave that line as our halfway. So here, and we'll borrow this line right here. I'm just going to draw a little on top of it so you know I'm still using that line. I'm still going to use this. I'm going to borrow this to cut it into fourths. All right, so this is going to be 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. What would go above the 1? 4/4. All right, that wasn't bad, was it? I went from 0 to 1, and I saw how much space I had, and I cut it into 4 pieces. Just like we cut the tape diagram when we get started, we cut it into pieces. I didn't have to shade anything, but I want you to see something. All right, put your marker down for just a second. Look at it. Here's my 0. Here's my 1/4. Here's my 2/4. What is 2/4 equivalent to? 2/4 is equal to how many halves? 1/2. I can see it. Okay? And then when we come to 3/4, and look, 4/4 is equivalent to 1 whole. It's another name for 1 whole. Okay? All right. So let's decompose one more time. I know we're running out of space, Miss Wendy. These numbers we might have to put down below the halves, and that's okay. Let me get rid of my little art here. All right, we're going to leave the fourths. We're going to leave the halves on there. We're going to add eighths to this. So it's like you have to imagine there's no other lines. Okay, so from 0 to 1, I'm cutting it into 8 pieces. If it's an even number, do you know what I do? Maybe you do this too. I did this with tape diagrams too. I cut it in half first, and then I make sure I've got, like with 8, I have 4 pieces on this side and 4 pieces on this side. All right, so these are going to be eighths, so we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pieces between 0 and 1. Okay, go ahead and do that if you've not done that. Now, something that's important, I know that you can count to different places on the number line, but we're going to label it. We're going to label it with the eighths. So again, this would be 0, but then we'd have 1/8 here, 2/8, 3/8. Now, I'm kind of writing it far away because I've got all these other numbers. But right under the 1/2, we'd have 4/8, and then 5/8, 6/8, 7/8. And what would go with the 1? How many eighths? 8/8. Okay. Now there's a lot on our number line right now. I know that. There won't always be that much at one time, because sometimes you get too much. It gets hard to see. Okay. Once you write all the way to 8/8, just put your top on your marker. Just a few more seconds to do that, because I just want you to see what a helpful tool this has become. Now, there's a lot on there, but look at what I can tell from this. I can tell that 2/4 is equal to 1/2 is equal to 4/8. That 1/2 is equal to 2/4 is equal to 4/8. Okay. How did I multiply with this? Well, I just kept cutting it in smaller pieces. What 3/4 is equivalent to what? 6/8. Really? Yeah, really. If I needed to prove it to you with just numbers, I could go, how did I get from here to here? Well, I multiplied by 2. Okay. What else can we tell? 1/4 is equivalent to what?
2/8.
Yeah, to 2/8. You could see it on your number line, or you could see it on mine. Okay. So really, if you can figure out how to cut your number line into pieces, and maybe do that a couple different times. Sometimes it's different size pieces. And compare them to each other. You can tell which fraction is equivalent. Sometimes you can use this to definitely tell, oh, hey, this fraction is way bigger than this fraction. And we're going to use the number line a lot when we start comparing fractions. Which one is bigger? Which one is smaller? Okay. So, let's go back here. All right. So go ahead and clear off your board. We're going to just kind of not have quite as much to look at now. You're looking for your spot. Somebody's not with black marker. Okay. All right. Now this tells us to partition a number line into thirds. So would you go ahead and on your board, draw a number line. Don't put it all the way smack at the top. You know, put it about in the middle of your board so that you have room to write either above it or below it. We do want to put the arrows on either side. And we've got to have a line to start us and a line to finish us. For now, our number line is going to be from 0 to 1. There will come a time when it's not. Okay, go ahead and label your little tick marks here. These are thirds. I had already labeled this as 1, so I just put my 3/3 up there. Okay. All right, your number line is labeled into thirds, partitioned into thirds. All right, this is what I wanted to show you that's very different. Takes a little bit of time to really grasp it, but it is kind of neat, okay? I had never seen this until I saw Eureka do it. All right, so if you would put your marker down, I just want you to watch up here. For now. I'll let you do it in a second. All right, markers are down. Okay. Now, if you've been looking in our directions, it says to decompose 1/3 into equal parts. Not this whole thing. 1/3. Where is 1/3? 1/3 is right. Let me put a little color to help us. 1/3 is right here, right? Okay. Let's say that I have my 1/3 piece of pizza. Let's say that the night before we ate pizza and then there was some left over and there was a third left over. Okay? Now, this tells me to decompose this little piece into 4 equal parts. So let me do that. So if I had this leftover pizza, but if I had myself and 3 of my friends over, we were playing, and we stopped and we wanted some pizza, we were hungry, and we just wanted a snack, we just wanted something little. Could we take this leftover and cut it into 4 pieces? Yeah. It's kind of strange to think of cutting a piece into 4 pieces instead of cutting the whole pizza into 4 pieces. But what if this is all we had? Okay. So if this is all we had, we would cut it into 4 pieces. And that's kind of what's happened here. All right. So if that's what I've done, how big are each of these pieces? They're not 1/4. Yeah, but you cut it into 4 pieces. They're not 1/4. I took a third and I cut that into 4 pieces. When I cut something again like that, I'm making more pieces if I did it to all of these, okay? Because if I did that here, I would kind of have to do it. If I did that, because the one hole goes all the way to here. If I took this whole pizza and cut it into 4 pieces, cut each, blah, blah, blah. Monday. No, it's not. It's Tuesday. Okay. If I took every one of these and cut them into 4 pieces, how many would I have? I'm really making your brains think this morning. If I took every one of these and cut it into 4 pieces, so I would have 4, and another 4, and another 4. I'd have 4 3 times. 4 3 times. That's a big hint right there.
12.
How many would I have? I'd have 12 pieces. These are actually 12ths. What? Yep. If I took my third and I cut it into 4 pieces, I didn't make 4ths, I actually made 12ths. Okay? All right. So, like I said, some of the first few times I even heard this, I was like, what? The more you see this, the more you hear it, the more it makes sense. Okay, so we might do a little of this together as we go along, but I'm not going to say, here, do this by yourself today. I'm not going to do that. All right, I am jumping over part of this. Okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and jump to our problem set. Let's do this. We are going to, wait a minute. We are going to have a, there it is, different problem set today where I simply want you to get comfortable with the number line of fractions. Okay? So if I just kind of was like, what did she just do? Please don't worry about that too much. Okay? All right. Now, let me give you just a little taste of what we're going to be doing. And those of you at home, there is a worksheet attached to this lesson. Okay? The worksheet is not one you can write on, so you're going to need to draw the number lines on your own paper. Okay? These are simple number lines, so you can do that. All right, you can all see in the room, these are simple number lines, and each time they give you 2. Now this time we've got 2 number lines side by side, and you're going to use them to compare. Or not so much compare, I guess, as to figure out which fraction is equal to which fraction. Okay? I would think that we would do better if we will take a small break right now. Because your eyelids are half closed. So let's erase our boards. If you're like me, it was hard to go to sleep last night because I had slept late for a day or 2. And so we're struggling this morning. Okay. We're going to get it, though. We're going to get it. This is kind of like a good introduction to number lines. And then, look, tomorrow, y'all get a good night's sleep tonight because we're going to be working hard tomorrow. Okay? Oh, we're working hard already. We are. All right, you can go ahead and put your board all the way away. Go ahead and do that. And then when we come back, we'll get this, and we will, all we're going to be doing is labeling each of these by counting the pieces and figuring out how many pieces there are. So these are going to be 4ths, and these will be, I believe, 8ths. And then we're going to use those 2 number lines with each other. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the recording off.